Statistics say that you have less than 10 seconds to hook your viewer when they land on your website. The thing is, it can't just look good to do this. It's got to be clear and compelling in order to make a connection with your audience. So let's have a look at 7 of the most common website design mistakes that you can avoid. Hi, I'm Alli, and I help emerging entrepreneurs get their businesses up and running online with a standout brand and website. But making it beautiful isn't enough for your website to hold up in the busy online world. It's got to be compelling and easy for your audience to navigate. There are some often made mistakes, though, that you can steer clear of when you're going to design your website or to redesign it. And having a mobile-friendly website didn't even make the list. Why, you ask? Well, it's an absolute given. It's 2020, and over half of all internet users are viewing websites on either their phones or their tablets. So no excuses, it has got to be mobile-friendly. Okay, so now on with the list. Number 1, it isn't immediately clear what you do and how you can help. The first thing your viewer thinks of when they land on your website is, what's in it for me? So you've got to instantly capture their attention and get them scrolling down the page by quickly and clearly letting them know what you do and how you can help them solve their deep internal problem. I like to call this your big message. And if it's unclear or too complicated for them to figure out, they'll simply click away. So you've got to make this a priority to get just right. Number 2, there's too much content and insider jargon. Your website should kind of act like a handshake. It's more of an introduction or an overview of your business than a lengthy, in-depth, and tell-it-all experience. No one has time to read lengthy blocks of copy these days. In fact, when people see them, most likely they'll just keep scrolling past them and they'll go in search of smaller copy blocks that they can easily digest, and headlines and subheads and bullet points that actually work kind of like speed bumps to slow down your reader as they're scrolling down the page. Another thing to avoid in your content is using words that will only confuse your potential clients. So ask yourself, do I use words and phrases that my dream clients would actually say? Or am I using insider jargon that will only make it hard for them to understand and to relate to? Number 3, you don't tell your viewers what to do next. You may think the next step someone should take when they visit your website is obvious, but if you don't tell them directly, they won't take action. So you've got to make it clear on every page what you want your prospective client to do next. The goal here is to know what step you want them to take in order to lead them down the path toward working with you, and tell them. Number 4, you're using a slider on your homepage. Sliders may seem like a good idea, but if you're trying to let your viewers know about your upcoming event or your recent blog post, for example, they just aren't effective. People tend to see them as ads and scroll right on by, again in search of an answer to the question, what's in it for me? Number 5, it takes too long to load. If your website takes more than 4 seconds to load completely, it's too slow. Google actually recommends keeping it below 3 seconds. So hopefully your web host and your theme and your plugins are already built for a quick loading time. One thing that you can do on your end, though, is to be sure that the images that you use on your website are optimized for use on the web so that they don't bog down your site. Number 6, it's too hard to find your contact information. This may seem like an obvious thing to do, but you'd be surprised how many businesses make it unclear how you can contact them on their website. Now, I get it. You might be a solopreneur working at home and you don't really want to put your cell phone or your home address up for the world to see. So if that's the case, you can always use a Google Voice number or get a P.O. box or simply use your email address. But by giving your potential clients a way to contact you helps them to trust you. So it's really important. Also, you want to stick with the word contact in your main navigation. That's what people are used to, so now is not the time to get creative with it. And number 7, you over-design your website. Your website doesn't need to be super unique or break the norm to the point that it causes confusion to your viewer. People have come to expect websites to function in a specific way. So for example, they know that when they click on the logo at the top of the page, they'll get back to your home page. or that the main navigation runs along the top of the website and social media icons can be found in the footer. So don't go so far overboard that you end up causing confusion instead of intrigue. The key thing to keep in mind when it comes to planning out your website is your audience. So be sure to focus your content and layout around what they want, how they want it, and then give it to them. Now you might be thinking, am I really going to be able to avoid these mistakes on my own? And if that's the case, click the video that's on the screen right now where I bust the most common myths when it comes to DIYing your brand and website so you don't become stuck and not moving forward with your business just because you're on a budget. Now, if you haven't subscribed, click subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. I'll see you next time.